before today, as an avid tennis player, I thought it was only tennis that they had the word love. Because when you start, it's love, love. 5 love, 30 love, 40 love, game. That's if you don't get the point. But Tony has redefined that to me today with his continuous, with that word, work in love, work together, and work in unity. I think that's far more better than my 30 love and 40 love. Please, congratulations, Tony, and I appreciate that. Without much ado, looking at the man that is the MC, you can see he's much bigger than me. He has given me just 30 minutes. So, 37 now, okay. Okay. Can I have the panelists, representative of the CEO, Wakanow? GB, Onilito, please step forward. Can I have Mbali Mogozelu? No, okay. What about Yann Gilbert, MD Amadeus? Is Abiola Delano from Sterling Bank here? Please come step forward, madam. What about Kelechi Amajo, CEO Blinqpay? Technology makes journey easier, accessible, affordable, and personalized for travelers all over the world. Technology has streamlined payment processes, enabling faster and more efficient transactions. Traditional payment methods such as cash or checks are being replaced by digital alternatives that allow for instant transfers, reducing the time and effort required to complete transaction. Numerous technologies and services, including smartphones, AIs, electronic payments, and social media have significantly impacted travel. Tourists are now able to use their mobile devices to book hotels, purchase tickets, and get direction. This has made planning a trip much easier and more convenient. In addition, mobile technology has made it possible for tourists to access information about their destination while they walk. Let's not forget to work together in love and unity. GB, I'll start with you.
Well, so if you look at the advent of technology, financial payments in Africa, or the focus is Africa basically, and that's how it affects our businesses. And you will see we've made some level of advancement in terms of how we trade across the region and how we do payments. For example, we'll find out it has made payments for travel services for things like when we do with DMCs, it has made it a bit more efficient and faster for some parts of Africa. So there's speed in being able to do settlements in terms of payments, moving money around, relating with people outside your own jurisdiction, maybe in North Africa, East Africa. Speed is one thing. Then you also look at cost reductions, like in the time past where you have to go to the bank, fill in forms, the time spent doing that, you have to fill forms, all sorts of documentation, that right there in your room, you could use your internet banking and move money around. So you also look at speed, you look at savings in terms of transaction fees. Now, as time went by, we started going into the era of blockchain technology, which makes a bit of keeps trail in terms of how you move money around as well. So you create ledgers that you can track. There's more of transparency in terms of how you move money around. Unlike before that people have visibility into what you are doing. That's also one part of it. Another part you also look at is the area of integration as well. When you look at integrations with other suppliers in other countries, where you can actually integrate with the supplier online, where you can peer-to-peer systems, when systems can talk to each other, and you can have checkout options where you can actually make payments. So technology has played, as much as it has played a critical role as well. So I just want to get a bit more practical now. There are still some teething problems in terms of payments, cross-border payments across Africa. I know at one time there was a bit of challenge with suppliers in a country like Namibia, taking payments from travel agents, doing business with them in Nigeria. It takes like forever for your payments to ever go through. They hardly trust people from this jurisdiction. And that's why you have the challenge that when they provide rates to you as agents or travel agents or tour operators in Nigeria, the rates they provide to people in Europe are far cheaper. And I remember during AFCON, we were trying to make payment for some of our high net worth clients at Wakanow. And it was in the middle of the night, and there was a particular transaction worth about 1.5 million. We have already gotten the hotels. The hotels were saying through another supplier, it wasn't confirmed. They said we need to make payments instantly. We didn't have all the systems we have that could do the payment. Would take another 48 hours to get confirmation. That was in Cote d'Ivoire. And we had to get another friend that has a friend that had a mobile app that can only make payment within that country. We had to wire, not from the company account, from personal account to that guy, about 1.5 million that night. Run through the mobile app for him to now make that payment. That was around 2 a.m. in the night. So before the payment could go through, before we could get the customer to settle down in his hotel, we found out that across West Africa, Francophone West Africa, there are still a lot of issues around payment. They are still a bit behind when it comes to technology when you compare to places like East Africa and Nigeria and Southern Africa. And it's there's still a bit of challenge in that. As much as technology has simplified a whole lot of things, there are still the issues of full integration, the speed and efficiency where you expect services to be delivered. I know we had a partnership with, we are working with one of the tourism boards, and we were supposed to go on a trip, which we paid for. They had to reimburse us. They paid in maybe about $15,000. It took 2 weeks for the payment to be confirmed on our account. That's from Dakar. It took 2 weeks for it to be confirmed on our account. Another one took another 3 weeks. So those are the barriers, because at one point, my management was telling me, you are the one that went to bring these people up. We have spent the money. If they don't pay, it's you. We will spread the payment for your salary and all that. So there's still, I think we're not there yet in Africa. As much as technology is supposed to give us an advantage and leverage, but we're not there yet. So you have companies like Flutterwave, Paystack, making a M-Pesa in Kenya, making some level of advancement, but the issues around governmental regulations still creating an impact on how these things become seamless. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kelechi.
Thank you very much. Payments, trade partnerships, and technology. Well, I like to say technology has made a huge difference in the payments, in the trade and partnership space. It has made a huge difference in the travel industry that service the travel industry, clients from Kenya, clients from South Africa, clients from Namibia and Egypt, that service the travel industry. And these clients have reached out to us because Africa is starting to realize that there is a revolution ongoing currently in the payment space, a revolution that has translated to, seamless trade across Africa, seamless Pan-African trade, seamless trade across Africa. Outside an instance, I have a client from South Africa that reached out to us, and they were seeking travel cards for their customers, and they didn't think this was obtainable. They didn't think this could happen because they had looked at some of our some of our competitors in the industry, some of our competitors outside Africa. And because in Africa we're sort of coming from behind, I'd like to say so. We're not exactly pacing up when it comes to technological advancement. But it's no longer quite the case, because some institutions, some payment institutions are starting to make huge and remarkable strides in the payment space. And so when they reached out to us, they wanted cards. They wanted cards that would enable pre-funding before their customers travel, and so that when the customers travel, they'll be able to spend seamlessly, especially given some of the setbacks we have with our traditional payment systems and card issuance in Africa. And we rolled out that program for this client. The program went live sometime in 2023, and the client was, the client was stupefied because he didn't think this was possible. And the feedbacks we got from their customers were lovely feedbacks. And these are some of the strides that have been made in the payment space. Beyond cards, their businesses, Africa in itself is largely import dependent. Nigeria, for instance, is largely import dependent, and this necessitates the need to facilitate cross-border payments every now and then. I mean, the reason we have some of the crisis we have with FX in Nigeria is because Nigeria is largely import dependent, and there is hardly sufficient flow to service the FX needs in the country. But technology has made it such that, in spite of the challenges with FX settlements, we're able to bypass traditional rails. We're able to bypass the brick and mortar rails to facilitate payments at faster rates, faster settlement times than it would have been with traditional rails. And this is what we're doing at Blinqpay. This is what we're facilitating with a lot of businesses, with a lot of multinationals. We have rails like blockchain rails. We have, non-traditional rails that have come into play because of technology, because of Web3, because of smart contracts, because of blockchain. We have non-traditional methods that have come into play that have facilitating settlements across countries that were hitherto unreachable or very difficult to reach. Technology has also made it has also made provision for inclusivity in Africa, in financially underserved corridors, like some corridors in East Africa, some corridors in Central Africa, some corridors in Francophone Africa. I wouldn't quite consider Nigeria as a financially underserved corridor, because Nigeria has made remarkable progress in terms of digital payments, in terms of payment advancements. But yeah, we are able to service financially underserved corridors because of technology, because we have deployed technology to that extent where we're able to break certain barriers that had existed 2 decades ago, barriers that existed decades ago. We're able to break those barriers today because we have tapped into the power of technology. Technology has made for inclusivity. It has made for transparency in payments. It has made for speed. In this part of the world, in Nigeria, we have clients who come to us and say, "Can you deliver this payment same day? My supplier needs this payment. I have my goods at the wharf, and I cannot clear them if I do not get this payment across to my supplier." And because of the wide network of partnerships we've built in the payment sector, and this has been made possible because of technology, because of the technological integrations along diverse settlement rails, we're able to deliver this payment seamlessly.
Yeah, Mr. Gilbert?
Yes.
Thank you. First of all, thank you to my colleague, because he mentioned the biometric technology in UK, which is our technology from Amadeus they use in UK for biometrics. So indeed, it's an amazing change. To come back on the payments, I think there is a clear dual vision about payment and technology in Nigeria. On one side, you have Nigeria, who is very advanced and efficient in terms of tech payment and technology opportunities that we have available, And if I compare it with what we have in other parts of the world, and especially in Europe or France, where I'm coming from, clearly you see that Nigeria is far ahead in terms of payment and technology and the banking technology. So it means you put the customer cards and the money goes directly to the airlines. Where it goes by cash to IATA, it's a long process. And this is the first point where I think we have some room for improvement here. Secondly, what is, I think, blocking or handicapping Nigeria specifically is that the fact that the currency is not completely free float and you cannot change as much as you want. So you need to have, we have two aspects where you have some technology provider, you mentioned some of them like Flutterwave that can do these kind of things. Or you used to go through the normal banking process, but this is very cumbersome, it's not transparent, it can bring delays in the things, and that is blocking clearly the transaction between countries. Whereas if you have some other countries, even if the currency can vary a lot, it's free float, so everybody is comfortable to bring back their money in the country and send it back whenever it goes. It's the same like we were talking about the immigration before. An immigrant, when he comes and he knows he can go, he is not going to stay. The same for the currency. If you know that it can come and go, there is no risk for the currency. So we have this constraint, and what's happened today as we speak, most of the travel agencies, big travel agencies in Nigeria, what they are doing is that they send Forex abroad, and they buy their ticket abroad, and they send the ticket only to a Nigerian customer. And that is very bad. It's very bad for you because you are not issuing tickets in Nigeria. It's very bad for us. It's very bad for the country because the money is going outside Nigeria. So there is a lot of improvement possible in the finance sector regarding technology. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, I'll start with artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has paved the way for advanced security and transaction monitoring, and this is as it affects payments. We've embedded AML checks within our infrastructure, and they are fully powered by AI. So when our customers put in their transaction, the transactions are scanned automatically. We're able to detect if there are any red flags anywhere, if there are any, if the customer has been listed in any of the sanction lists. You know, that is what AI has done. Now, in terms of what was the other question?
Talk about the central bank.
Or the central bank, CBDC.
Yes.
Well, CBDCs, there was an attempt by the Nigerian Central Bank to launch a CBDC. It wasn't quite successful, I would say, because it did not gain the adoption that was required to drive it. I mean, the adoption was pretty slow, and maybe that was because of the marketing strategy.
Thank you. Yeah. GB, you talked about jurisdictional trust, which can also be jurisdictional risk and also affect insurance. Please, can you tell us how this trust risk insurance affects the airlines, Nigerian airlines, this time when you deal with them based on this?
Risk and trust, can you just clarify what you mean by that?
You said trust in jurisdiction.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah, and you said, and I know that jurisdictional trust also has given the airlines some risks too in leasing the aircrafts. Now with this payment, how does this thing affect, when you deal with the foreign airlines and the Nigerian airlines, how does this affect your business?
One of the first things you should know is that Nigeria is a high security risk environment when it comes to aviation. So the perspective the foreign airlines have about Nigeria is completely different. For example, if you look at the area of aircraft insurance, for example, you find out the premium domestic carriers pay on aircraft for insurance much more higher than what they have in Europe. And because you look at the issue of being able to repatriate funds is a major risk. So you can't repatriate funds. And if you can't repatriate funds, how do you mitigate that? When you have sold tickets, for example, as far back as 2014, 2015, I know airlines sold at 165 naira to $1. A lot of those funds were not repatriated until quite recently. So how do you now ensure you are able to bridge the gap in between what you have lost? So that's why what led to all these inventory restrictions. That's what led to also you have the advent of NDCs, other consolidators, that if you need to issue, that's what you mentioned earlier, if you need to issue lower RBDs for flight, you need to now issue on systems that are outside of your jurisdiction. That's what he was talking about, that there's a lot of funds that leave the country because you probably have to make deposit in a particular account where you draw down dollars, which is one of the things that drains on our reserve, because we are a high risk country when it comes to all those. And then also you look at some payments companies also play a whole lot of hanky-pankies, like some of the MNC as well. So you will see that there is a strong decline on what Western Union does compared to some of these IMNC that tells you they can transfer money, and you find out rather than the money comes into the country, the money are wired offshore to another account while Naira is being paid into the country. I think that's one of the things the government is trying to slam down on. So it's that issue of trust, and because we're an high risk country, till we can reduce that risk, and as we can reduce that risk, I don't think people will have enough confidence to allow all these things to work.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gilbert, the last one. You've talked about some of these difficulties in sending the money and the time it takes. Looking at their regulations, which area do you think we need to address to improve this payment technology?
I think what GB mentioned is very correct. What's most important is trust, and I think when trust is there, there will be things will go back to normal, and because we are all been affected by the previous situation that happened, but I think it's getting normalized, so that's the good thing. Also, part of trust, because I had a meeting last week with all the domestic Nigerian airlines, and I told them you need Forex. Foreign airlines need local partners, and to get that you need technology, because there is no way Air France, Lufthansa, British Airways, Delta, whoever will partner with Nigerian airlines if they don't have a technology they can speak to. It's not possible, first of all. Secondly, if you want Forex, or if you want to go abroad, you need technology. You can sell your tickets, the old style in Naira in Nigeria, but as soon as you go to your neighbor country, Cameroon, Ghana, wherever, you will need technology to provide for payment solution, to be able to sell your ticket, and that's why GDS are there, for example. Another thing that I notice, sometimes these carriers are very comfortable to compete within Nigeria, but to go outside Nigeria, they are very worried. And if you notice, if you ask any Nigerian carrier, where are you going to open a route, they will tell you Accra. That's all they go, because they feel Accra is a safe environment for them and comfortable. Whereas they sell their ticket to Accra, I think it's 400,000 Naira. If you go to Cameroon, which is same flight, 1 hour, same flight, you will sell at 1.2 million. So there is many opportunities that technology provides, but sometimes they are a bit worried or scared to go to this step.
Like the team said, technology is important, it's inevitable, and will help drive trade and partnership. Good afternoon, everybody.